2 teams, 1 cup. The primetime stage is set for the TGL presented by SoFi Finals, Los Angeles Golf Club versus Tigers Jupiter Lynx. Keep up, it's playoffs. Tune in Monday, March 23rd, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2, and Tuesday, March 24th, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and on the ESPN app.
Protein is now at Starbucks, and it's never tasted so good. You can add protein cold foam to your favorite drink or try one of our new protein lattes or matcha. Try it today at Starbucks.
I am behind it now.
Right, you're sitting behind the dryer.
Behind the dryer.
If I went to dry clothes, I'd see you behind my dryer.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
This is the plaintiff, Joseph Rotondi. He says the defendant snagged some knobs on his clothes dryer and snapped them off the machine. The defendant said he'd pay for the repairs, but they've called him over 50 times and have heard nothing. He doesn't deserve to be treated this way, and he's here for principle and expects to leave as the victor. He's suing for $304.95, the amount he certainly owed. This is the defendant, Neil McCrory. He says he was hired over 2 years ago to do some work at the plaintiff's house. He was unable to go around the dryer and forced to climb over it, and as luck has it, his belt buckle snagged on the knobs, breaking them. He ordered new knobs and was going to install them, but the plaintiff got crazy because it was going to take 3 to 6 weeks to get the parts. Bottom line, the plaintiff just needs to chill. He's accused of hanging a guy out to dry.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Joseph Rotondi?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are suing Neil McGregor for $304.95.
That's correct.
Which, according to you, he owes you to fix a problem that he created with your dryer?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, you're wearing these sunglasses because?
I've been visually impaired due to a disease I have.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm just, normally we ask you to take your glasses off.
I will
no, leave them on if you need them. It's fine.
Fine.
All right, so tell me what happened here.
Okay, let me first explain, Your Honor. Mr. McGrory has done a lot of work for myself and my wife at our home, and we've never had a problem. Whenever we've called him, he's come over, he's done the job, and we paid him.
For how many years have you used him?
Well, I've known Mr. McGrory for 27 years. He at one time worked for my wife. I'd say 5 to 6 years since I knew he was doing work on the side. Okay. And he's been very good. We had a nice rapport.
Okay. And what capacity did you work for his wife?
Boston City Hospitals. He was a food service director, and I worked under her.
Okay. So go ahead.
Okay. This particular time, Mr. McGrory was at the house, did some work that I had requested. Everything went fine. There was one last issue that had to be taken care of, and that was to reconnect the vent dryer. So what happened was Mr. McGrory at that time...
Reconnect the vent dryer from what?
From the rear of the dryer to the outside part of the house. There's a vent inside, goes right outside the exterior of the home.
Okay.
That was
But why was it disconnected?
They come apart. They come off often. They do fall off, probably from the usage and what have you. But other than that, I don't know.
Okay.
So in any case, he completed that, and rather than just coming around the dryer, Mr. McGrory elected to climb over the dryer and.
After reconnecting it?
Yeah.
After connecting it, because he didn't disconnect it.
He didn't disconnect it.
So after he connects it, or the thing gets connected again to the wall, he then walks on the dryer?
No. He instead of coming around the dryer like he should have done.
How did he get up behind the thing?
He hopped over it, and as you can see, he's a large man, and he.
Okay, but are you saying that he hops over it? How does he connect? Is he in the air?
No. He jumped up, he leaped up, and when he attempted to go over, he landed On the backsplash of the dryer, where all the indicator
He's jumping down or jumping up? I mean,
up from behind. And
he's behind it?
Yes.
Wait, well, I'm just not understanding because I'm trying, the whole loop I'm not understanding.
The washer and dryer together.
Right.
There was no room to go around it.
Right.
The only way to get behind it is I had to climb over the dryer, get myself on the other side, and then check the line.
How'd you even do that? What'd you do, lie on top of the dryer?
No, I had to put my knee up and go, and I just had both my knees
So you
replaced.
had your knees on the dryer?
Right.
And then you're leaning over, and then you connect the
No,
hose.
then I climbed right over. I had to get behind the
When you
vent.
say climb, your body doesn't actually climb. You're just leaning over, and then you connect it?
No, I had to get myself on the other side.
So in between the wall that you're connecting the dryer
Right.
hose to and the dryer.
Right.
So now your physical body, the dryer's way apart.
Right.
Okay? So you connect it.
I am behind it now.
Right, you're sitting behind the dryer.
Behind the dryer.
If
on
I
my
went to
feet.
dry clothes, I'd see you behind my dryer.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
And I had to bend over. The vent is at the bottom of the dryer.
Okay.
The very bottom.
Okay.
So I had to check it. It was
Okay.
connected.
Oh, it was already connected?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was wrong?
There was nothing wrong. He wanted me to. I had fixed the tenant's dryer upstairs. They had a lot of problems, and so we were all done and paid for. He had given me a check. I put my tools away, and as Joe always does, after I finish a job and I'm paid, then he asked me to. Could you check this? Could you check my garage? Could you check this? And he tries to get a little extra out of the thing, and usually I do what I can do.
Okay.
This time, I checked the dryer, it was fine, but when I climbed back, the loop of my pants caught the knobs of the dryer, they broke.
Okay.
And I tried to fix it.
That'll show you.
Yeah, I tried to fix it, but I couldn't get the parts. I had to wait for them. And in the meantime, he called me 7,000 times. And one time he threatened me.
He threatened you?
Yeah, like, I'm going to sue you if you don't get down here. My wife's very disappointed in you, and all this stuff. And then he called my wife at work, and he called other people. He called her boss, another person.
What? Why are you? Did you call her boss and her at work? And
I did.
why?
Because he wouldn't return any of my calls.
Well, but you called her boss? What purpose would you have in calling?
Because that's his brother-in-law.
Oh.
Okay.
And so you were trying to get him through his brother-in-law?
Right.
Okay.
And a number of other managers, regular employees that are friends of mine, and every one of them got the message to his wife to no avail. His wife even told my wife, don't worry, if my husband broke it, he will fix it.
How long ago was this?
Oh, this is 2 years ago. Then
Come on up, wife.
Wait a minute.
So, are you horrified at the big deal he's making over a knob, or do you believe that? Go ahead, let me hear from you. I just want to hear you.
Okay. There were 2 knobs on the dryer that were sheared off.
Okay.
So they couldn't be used.
So where's the dryer just not being used? How do you dry your clothes?
No, it was set on high heat when it was broken. And then one of the knobs controls the temperature, low heat, no heat, medium heat. So I have to use the dryer with high heat all the time. And so that's what I've been doing.
Okay, and what did the other knob control?
That was fabric care on off.
Okay. So you've just been using it with the sheared knobs. How old is this machine?
It's approximately 10 years old.
Okay, so what's the machine worth?
$150, $200.
So how did you turn that into a $304.95?
I got quotes
lawsuit?
from various service companies.
But why would anyone ever owe you more than what the machine is worth? If we call it a total loss, it's just like a car. You crash a car, it's either a total loss and you stop there, but you don't pay more than the car is worth to fix it. So how is it different with the dryer?
Well, it really isn't, but the fact remains it was in great condition. And we were upset that he said he'd fix it, but when he learned of the cost, he just elected
How much was the cost?
It was $75 for the 2
For both
modules.
of them?
Yeah.
And then he says when you learned that it was $75, you decided that was too much.
Well, I was doing it on my own time. It wasn't really, that wasn't part of my job.
I understand, but you know what you do? You say, yeah, call me for a diagnostic. I charge $30 for it. I understand what you're saying, that you feel like you were doing
I only got paid for the $75 for the whole job I did. Yeah.
But see, you made a business decision, not me. You made a business decision that you would go ahead and look at his dryer and do him the favor because it meant that he's probably going to call you back because you knew that that's how he does it. He will nickel and dime you later for a little free stuff. And you apparently have no problem with it, according to you, that you apparently have no problem with it because you've been doing it this way for 6 years. So if you don't want to have that done to you, stop.
Oh,
and just say, no, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Well, they won't call you back either because they're suing you. But, you just say, nah, if you need me to do that, you got to make an appointment. Say the kind of thing you're not going to say to a current customer. All right? But when you undertake to do it, you got to do it right? Like if you damage his property, who else is going to be responsible? Me? Like who else? Who's responsible for the damaged knobs?
We both are.
How is he responsible?
For asking me to do it after I've already been...
He should have known how careless you were.
I
That's
know.
right. That's right. Oh,
He should have known how careless you were.
Yeah, I was. I agree. No, I agree with you on that.
Can I say
You
something?
can't be
Alan?
serious. You can't be serious.
No, it was more the threats afterwards.
Okay. But if you ordered the parts, why didn't they come in?
No, I didn't order. I thought I could get them cheaper online.
Well, how long does it take to get online?
Well, if
You didn't file the lawsuit and get angry until how much later?
I waited a long time. I sent
What's
him
a long time?
Over a year.
A year?
I sent him a certified registered letter that he refused to accept. I've got it with me, Your Honor. He wouldn't accept
So
it.
that sounds like it's 2 years ago that it happened. You're finally in court today.
Right.
He filed the lawsuit how long ago?
I have no idea.
Okay, so really you had enough time to go online and check if you could get it
Oh,
cheaper.
yeah, but I had given up. Like, once the threat came, I was never
What's
gonna...
the threat? I'm going to sue you if you don't do what you're supposed to do?
Yeah. It was the way if I had the thing, if you could have heard it, I would have. And then all the harassment,
Come on up.
calling,
Come on up. All the harassment, you just leaned over and nodded towards your wife. What harassment did you endure?
The phone calls at work, they were just embarrassing.
Did
They
you
were my
work? Where did you
employees
work? In the same place?
Yeah, I work at a college.
At a college?
I work for the food service company.
Okay. She works in...
She works in a separate building, but at the same college.
Oh, at the same college.
Yes.
So he calls you at work and
I
said...
never actually talked to him.
Okay.
Other people were giving me messages that he had called.
Can I just ask you a question? Is it just a lot easier to just get the darn knobs?
I don't know. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't find out that this was going on until months after it had started.
Right, but I mean now it's now look at you.
I would have bought him the knobs. I'll tell you the truth. I would have just bought him the knobs.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Find the knobs, hand the knobs over. We're
I
done.
think this is ridiculous.
Or, but I guess some people might say too. We used them for 6 years. I worked with them. Just let it go. But if nobody's letting it go, and you people are constantly fighting and putting me in the middle. Oh wait, that's my job. All right. If nobody lets it go, and I have to judge it, then I have to call it like it is.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Is this guy responsible for the knob?
He is responsible, yes.
Why?
He should make sure when it comes to somebody's home that his belt is properly secured.
But who's ever heard of a belt buckle breaking a knob?
I don't think he's responsible. I think that there is a degree of bizarre that can happen in any situation.
So it's the bizarre defense.
That's right.
It's the bizarre defense. What do you think?
No, I don't think he's responsible.
Why?
Well, I mean, okay, let's say something happens to my employer while I'm working. I mean, I'm not responsible for something I break.
Well, if you're negligent, you're responsible. The question's going to be, was this negligent? We will see. Going inside the courtroom.
And call it like it is you broke it. You have responsibility to give him the estimate for that repair or do him the favor responsibly. And if you break something when you're doing someone a favor, you're responsible for breaking the thing. Now, how much does it cost to get those knobs?
$75.
Prove that.
I don't have. I went
Okay,
down.
what proof do you have that it costs what you're saying?
I contacted, like I
No,
said.
I need proof. I need to see something.
I don't have, they don't,
Oh,
nobody.
for the love of all that's holy.
No service company will give you a written estimate
Well,
on
how do you
parts.
come up with your figures? You can't just pull them out of the sky.
I've got the name of the company, telephone number, whatever. You can have
No. Let me tell you what people do.
Okay.
They bring evidence. Okay? There's a piece of paper in your hand. You hand it to my bailiff. My bailiff
Correct.
trots over here.
Correct.
We sit there. We look at it.
Sure.
And then I rule. How am I going to rule off of just you pulling numbers out of the sky?
I'm telling you the truth, that's why.
How about you? You telling me the truth?
Yes.
Here we go. Now we got a tie again.
Well, how can he be telling you the truth? I never once threatened him. Never once.
How about on whether it's $75?
Well, I went and asked them. I went down to a local appliance place, and then when they told me it was 3 to 6 weeks to get them, I just said never mind. So I didn't get a bill. I thought I would. I took the numbers and was going to get them online.
Okay. What part of this
Can I
little
respond?
proceeding, Douglas, have we reached?
Sounds like it's time for a little rough justice.
Indeedy, because this is not a scientific process when neither side brings me evidence. I'm going to order the defendant liable for the plaintiff's damages to the tune of $150. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Well, how a couple of knobs on a dryer could wind up in people's court is an amazing thing.
It is. It's just the principle of the thing.
What's the principle in your mind?
Well, I mean, if he's asking for favors, he should have at least offered to split it with me, or, you know.
If he's asking for favors, if you break something, it's his fault.
It's worth this not to have to go there again. So.
You know, all right, okay, head right down this way, all right, all right, so step on in here, and he says you threatened him over some knobs on the...
No, not at all, not at all.
No?
Like I said in court, Mr. McGrory had done an awful lot of work for us in the past. He's always paid. He stated in there that I had threatened him, not even close to a threat. I just wanted my dryer fixed.
You have to sue him. You couldn't have let this slide and said, all right, I won't hire you anymore. Anything? You couldn't slide it?
We used to like the guy.
Did you want to let it slide? Did you advise him?
I wanted to take it out in barter. I thought he could come and fix something else, and we'll just live with the
next time something breaks, will you call him?
No, he doesn't return calls.
Oh. Harvey?
I mean, look, even if it was an innocent mistake, which I'm sure it was, the defendant is negligent for getting caught in the dryer. It's really that simple. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Introducing Shark Facial Pro Glow, a first-of-its-kind at-home facial. Pro-level extraction removes impurities, and dual-temperature technology boosts radiance and deep puffs with both Insta-Heat and Insta-Chill technology. Treat yourself to a hydro-fueled glow in minutes. And because Shark Facial Pro Glow fits in the palm of your hand, you can get that luminous post-spa glow anywhere. Visit sharkbeauty.com to learn more.
Spring is here, and the shopping list is long. Time to make a Lowe's run. Buy 3 bags, get 3 free of Stay Green 1 cubic foot garden soil. Plus, right now, members can earn 4 times the points on an eligible purchase. Start spring off strong with these deals and more. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 3/25 while supplies last. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change. Point boosters subject to exclusions and more terms apply. One-time only offer.
This is the plaintiff, Chiquita Barnes. She says she was going to rent an apartment from the defendant, and as it turns out, the thing was a fire trap. That's right, it only had one way in and one way out, a definite no-no. She decided she wasn't going to put her life in jeopardy, told the guy she wasn't going to live there, and now can't seem to get him to return her $1,880, the amount she's owed for rent and moving expenses. This is the defendant, Felix Figueroa. He says he doesn't feel he owes the plaintiff a dime because she actually lived in the apartment for 2 months. That's right, she's trying to get over on him and live rent-free, and hey, no one lives rent-free. Besides, she hasn't even returned the keys to him, so owe her? No way. He's accused of getting a tenant hot under the collar.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff was going to rent an apartment from the defendant, but says it was a fire trap, and now he can't get his security deposit back. But the defendant says the plaintiff lived there, and she's not doing it for free. It's the case of flame blame.
Douglas Chiquita Barnes, you are suing your former landlord, Felix Figueroa, for $1,880 in security deposits, rent that you paid, and moving services because you found out that the place was an illegal sublet. Tell me what's going on.
So just to start, I physically signed the lease with Felix and my witness, Lorenzia Richards, on October 23rd of 2012. That was a Wednesday, and he allowed me to start moving things in earlier. But due to Hurricane Sandy, I didn't physically spend the night in the apartment until Friday, November 2nd. 4 days after being in the apartment, I went to, this is, Lorenzia, she was coming over. I went to open the door for her. And when I did...
Does she live there with you, or
no?
Was she a roommate, or no? Okay.
No, that's my girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so she's not on the lease?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Do you have the lease with you?
I do.
Okay. And so she comes over.
Yep.
I know I'm going to start asking you questions in a second, so if you want to come on up. Yeah. Thanks. All right.
Yeah, so I attempted to open the door because the type of lock that Felix had on the door, it's the same key that you use to get in is what you use to get out. So you have to lock the door from the inside. So I'm trying to we're on the phone with each other. I'm trying to open the door. I'm like, I must be bugging. I had only been in the apartment for 4 days. I'm like, I must have the wrong key. Because when I moved in, Felix left the keys on the windowsill for me. So she's like, you know what? Throw the key.
Is that the first time that you had needed to open and close the door?
No.
So, but it had worked the other time.
Yeah, it had worked the other days. So it was really dark outside, had the flashlight, threw the keys down to her. She came up through the back because there was only one entrance. There was no front entrance to the house. So you had to go around the back to come into the apartment. She came up. She wasn't able to open the door.
Let me talk to you. So then you try with the keys that she dropped down to you?
I tried both the bottom lock and the top lock, and they wouldn't open at all. You could turn it, but the door wouldn't open. And then the top lock wasn't locked. The bottom lock wasn't locked either, but you couldn't open a door.
Okay. What kind of place were you renting? Like a basement or what?
It was a third floor attic apartment.
An attic. Okay. And did you have your own entrance and exit?
The same way that you got into the apartment.
There was only one entrance and exit.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so now what do? Does he live there too?
Yeah.
He does.
He lives on the first
Felix lives on the first floor.
All right, so you go down there and you knock on his door. I take it. You go down there and you knock.
Yeah, I go down and knock on the door and I tell him that she can't get out the apartment. And
so she's like locked into her own apartment.
Right.
Got it. All right, so then
I
what
knock on his door and I tell him that she can't get out of her apartment. He comes upstairs, he jigs the door, he can't get it. Then he goes downstairs to get some, I think it was like a hammer or something, and then like tries to open the door. Then he goes back downstairs to get something else. I think it's like maybe like a flathead or something, like to, like a knife or like.
At this point, you've been living there how long?
4 days.
Okay. So and then one of you starts taking video.
Yeah, I took a video.
How come?
Just to see how long it would take. I didn't take actually a whole long video, but
we tried ourselves for at least 30 minutes
to open the door.
Yeah, ourselves without Felix.
Is there a fire escape?
Nope.
No.
So you come up and you try to open the door, and what's wrong with it?
It seems that someone was messing around with the cylinder lock that actually comes out of the lock into the hole where.
How do you mess around with that? You're either using a key to get in or you're using a key to get out. There's no.
Right, but there's two locks. Like she mentioned, there's two locks. So you have like a safety
keys?
lock.
Two different keys?
No, same key.
Same key.
So it opens the top and the bottom, so you have a double bolt and a regular hand.
But when you say someone was messing around with it, that implies somebody used it in a way it was not intended to be used.
Right, because after we was able to successfully open the door.
How did you successfully open it?
By pushing with a flathead screwdriver and pushing through.
That's not how doors are supposed to open though, right?
Right, that's why I said the cylinder, for some reason, did not want to go back in.
Okay,
Like
so none of this is that big a deal because all you have to do is change a cylinder, right?
No, I usually change the whole lock.
Change the whole lock. All right, so this should not be a big deal except for that got her thinking, right? That got you thinking.
But before she moved in,
which you should think before you move in. Thank you for bringing that up.
You live and you learn.
You should think before you move in. So that got you thinking, put your hand down. That got you thinking what?
So I started talking to people, just pretty much telling them because A, I have asthma, and B, I follow the news, and a few years ago, firefighters in Bridgeport, they were attempting to get people out of a third floor apartment because there was no exit. 2 of them died. So I was like, okay, this happened. You
follow the news, you just don't remember the news.
I
right?
do, yeah. So basically, I was like, all right, I know I have to do research, and that day it was November 6th. I'm like, we're going on vacation November 23rd. All right, I got to start something. So my initial call was to Bridgeport zoning. I didn't know if these people were going to give me anything. But the guy that I talked to, he's like, this house has always been listed as an oversized 2-family house. He said, when you get a chance to come here, I can give you paperwork. But I work full time, so it was hard for me to, whatever. But
do you have a CO for the attic, yes or no?
So should this plaintiff be allowed to get her security deposit back?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
Fixed the problem. Huh? The landlord fixed the problem.
So is this just a phony baloney excuse to get money back?
Yes, it is.
So she doesn't get the money back?
No, because the problem was fixed and that's the end of the matter.
But it's true that at the time, it was a serious problem before the door got fixed.
Yes, but absolutely not. She shouldn't get her money back.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
It's an in-laws apartment. That's what
Right, but it's just an attic that you're not supposed to charge your in-laws on.
At least in my family, you're not. Right, but it's a full-size apartment. It's not like an attic.
The question's not a space issue. It's are you legally renting that out or are you illegally renting that out? You and I both know what I'm asking you. Don't play around with me. Just answer my question. What's the answer to my question?
Yes.
Yes, what? That was a multiple choice question.
Yes, it was being rented out.
What?
It was rented out.
You think that's my question? What do you think was my question?
That was not the question. Is it legal? Is it legal
to rent it out.
After we went through the paperwork, it was submitted then now.
Turns out no. Okay. So now she wants out and she wants back her security deposits because here's how it works. What happens is that when you get the government involved by having to get a permit for renting stuff out, the government starts to do some really annoying things like make sure you're not going to die. They want to make sure that there's a bathroom. They want to make sure it's not a health hazard. They want to make sure you're not going to fry in the wiring. They want to make sure you have a way to get out if there's a fire. Just pesky little government intrusions like that, where they just want to make sure you're safe. Otherwise, they don't want landlords charging people rent for death traps. So they make you jump a bunch of hurdles. Or they just say, no, you're not zoned for that. You can't do it. It's one or the other. So now, here's what happened. It's like a little bit like, let's say she sold you some cocaine. Work with me here. She sells you cocaine. You get the cocaine, you taste it, you do whatever you do to see the quality of the cocaine, and then you say, why, this is an outrage. This is a breach of contract. This is not quality cocaine. You've charged me top dollar and you've given me stepped on stuff. And then you go to court, you file a lawsuit, you say, Judge, help me out here. She's a breach of contract. I would look at you, right, and say, well, my friend, public policy prevents me from helping you out at a moment like this because you are doing something illegal. And we are not fools in the judiciary. We are not in the business of helping you do something illegal. It is much the same with landlord tenancy law. If we tell you you have to get a permit to rent that out, and you're probably going to have to make sure it has a kitchen, make sure it has an entrance and an make sure it has locks on the windows, make sure all the pesky little list of things that cost money to fix. What makes you think that I'm going to let you keep any portion of her security as rent? You can't. You can't ask me to help you keep the security. She didn't pay December rent because she didn't pay December, right? And she got out in the middle of December. So you want me to let you keep security as rent. That means I got to do something. You're asking me to act on your illegal contract, which isn't going to happen. Now, you're asking to get back November rent, right?
No, that was actually wrong. I fixed it. I initially gave Felix $2,000.
Tell me what you gave him money for.
$800 was for November rent. $800 was for security. $200 was a pet deposit because he does not allow pets. But if you look on the lease, he wrote in pen and he also signed small dog allowed. And then $200 was, the additional $200 was for the last month's rent because he doesn't make you pay the full $800 at once. His thing was I could just add an extra $50 per month over the year.
Okay, is that accurate? $800 for November, $800 for security, $200 for the pet deposit, and $200 for the last month's rent? Correct. That is accurate. Okay. Did she destroy the place?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
But the thing is that her friend stayed there from day one. So it was not like where she stayed and helped her out, like I thought, moving her out. Her friend was there from day one and never left.
Oh, I never got to see that video. Let me see that video you talked about.
He hasn't.
Now,
oh, here we go.
Your Honor.
Yeah, just a sec. I'm just curious, why are you videoing him?
To see how long it would take.
Because you're kind of angry that this is happening?
No,
or?
I was just actually there.
I mean, you can see how long it takes by watching, so it's kind of hostile.
It took longer than that, actually.
Did he know you were you videoing down low or were you videoing up top? How were you videoing?
I was just it was in my shirt.
Were you videoing the way I video when I see somebody's ex-boyfriend at a restaurant with a woman and then I'm pretending that I'm looking in the phone but I'm actually videoing and texting it to them? Or not like that?
No, not like that.
Okay, here. Yes, dear.
I would just like to add, if you listen to the audio on the...
Show me proof of your moving services fee.
Okay. If you listen to the audio, Felix specifically asked Laurencia, do you guys use one of the locks? If she was living there... I
don't care. I don't care if she was living there or stayed there every night in the 2 months. I don't care. This is not important to me.
Yeah, okay.
Let me tell you what's important to me. What's important to me is the following. There is money paid here for an apartment. The implication is you have the right to take the money, and the fact is that you didn't. Okay? Let me tell you what someone can't do. They can't rent an attic apartment and then pay rent for a bunch of months, and then say, oh, by the way, you owe me the last year that I paid you, and get to live there rent-free. So the past month, the November, is already earned. That's past. I'm not doing anything about that. But the December rent, you are trying to keep the security deposit to cover the December rent, and I cannot let you do that for the reasons we've already discussed. So I'm going to order you to return the $800 in security, because you can't keep it for damages. You said she didn't damage it, so you can't keep it for rent, because you're not allowed to keep it for rent, because you can't rent it. The pet deposit, again, because there's no damages, and the $200 for last month's rent, for the same reasons that we've already discussed, since you can't collect rent. That's $1,200. Now you're also suing for the fact that you had to pay somebody to move you. You paid somebody to move you in on October 31st, and then you paid somebody to move you out on December 23rd. Now, you were leaving your last apartment. Why?
The lease was over. And I also
So no
wanted
matter
to be,
what, you'd be paying one of these moving fees, correct?
Absolutely.
So then why are you suing for both? You had one extra move thanks to this problem.
Because I moved in there and...
I know, but you'd have, no matter what, you'd have to pay for one or the other because you were leaving that last apartment.
Absolutely.
Okay, got it.
But
So you'll get
he knew
one
it
of
was
those
illegal.
moves. We're done. And so my verdict is for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,540. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
That's good.
So the plaintiff does collect not every penny, but quite a bit of what she sued for. What's your reaction to this outcome?
I'm just glad it's all over with. It was a very consuming, problem as far as going back November and December. So I'm just.
This has taken up or rented a lot of your mental space?
Yes, of course.
Right. Well, you understand how the judge came down on you for the illegal space. She can't rule in your favor when she can't enforce an illegal contract. Right?
That is correct.
You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Right around the corner this way. Okay. All right. So step on in here. You satisfied how this comes out? You didn't get every penny.
No, I didn't get every penny, but you know what? At the end of the day, God doesn't like ugly and God sees all. So with that said, you can't do something dirty and try to call it clean.
Okay. I like the Obama tie.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Thanks.
Harvey?
You know, this is so simple. A landlord should never rent an apartment without having a certificate of occupancy, because if you don't have one of those, the tenant will hold you hostage. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by Peloton. Break through the busiest time of year with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. With real-time guidance and endless ways to move, you can personalize your workouts and train with confidence, helping you reach your goals in less time. Let yourself run, lift, sculpt, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
This is the plaintiff, Willie Aguilar. He says he placed a deposit on a van at the defendant's used car dealership. And when he arrived with the balance of the money, he didn't see the van on the lot anymore. When he asked the defendant what the story was, the sneak told him he sold it a week ago. When he told the defendant he wanted his $1,800 back, the louse refused and told him to apply it towards another vehicle. Another vehicle? Ha! He's suing for the return of his $1,800 deposit here and now. This is the defendant, Doran Brudazon. He says the plaintiff did indeed give him a deposit on a van he was selling, but then phoned him and told him he was having financial problems coming up with the balance and asked for his deposit back. He explained to the plaintiff he could either pay him in full and take his van or apply the deposit toward another van. End of story. He's accused of selling out.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff plunked down a deposit on a van at the defendant's used car lot and says the guy sold it to somebody else right out from under him and can't get his deposit back. But the defendant says the plaintiff was having money issues and that's why there was a problem. It's the case of Van Gogh.
All right, Mr. Aguilar, you are suing Mr. Brudazon and his auto sales business. You're the owner? Mm-hmm. All right. For $1,800 in a deposit that you gave to him and you want returned to you because he sold out the car from under you. Tell me what happened.
In August 16, I was driving by in Route 1 and I saw the vehicle that I was looking for. And
What kind of car was it?
It was a cargo van, E350, 2002. And I liked the vehicle, and that was exactly what I was looking for. I see the conditions of the vehicle, and it was, like I say, exactly what I was looking for.
For business or for?
For business, okay. Yes. And
what kind of business are you in?
I was trying to open up a business, construction. Okay. I work now in construction, but I try to open my own, and I was looking for that particular van, and I went home, bring the money, the 16, and I give him the $1,800. Okay,
but how much was the van going to cost?
$5,500.
All right, so when were you supposed to bring the rest of the money?
Well, I told him, to give me a couple of days to bring the money, which I couldn't get the money exactly, when I told him. And then I came a week later and I explained to one of the sellers representative he got, or either his brother. He told me that it was his brother, but I told him I don't have the money right now. Can you give me an extension, for me to get the money? And I was trying to get the money because I got a check, that it wasn't clear. I explained that to him, and I'd wait, and I call, and actually he did call, and he says, Willie, can you pay little by little? I said, we'll be fine, but I prefer to wait, bring the money, and pay it in full the vehicle. When I came back later with the money, the vehicle was sold. And
when was that?
Well, it's over a month. And he told me.
How much over a month?
I don't remember exactly how many days.
You think he's going to remember when I ask him?
Probably.
Yeah. How much later did he come with the rest of the money?
A month and 2 weeks almost, a month and a half.
A month and a half later. Yeah. And he was supposed to have come when?
He was supposed to come after a couple of days.
Okay. Does the contract actually say that?
No.
Okay. Can I see the contract?
Yes. That's the contract.
Yeah, it's right in here.
It says 48 hours.
Right. So why are you saying it doesn't say it?
No, not in the front. In the back. Yeah.
Okay, so the contract says
Yes.
48 hours for the balance, okay, which is what he says, that he's supposed to have it in a couple of days. So then they give you an extension, they give you an extension, they give you an extension, they give you an extension. It's now a month and a half later. How long do you think they're going to not sell their merchandise?
Well, I asked him, to give me a time because I needed to clear, some of the checks, that I was waiting for.
I know, but why is your lack of planning their emergency? And how long does it take for a check to clear? That's an answer for why you need 5 business days. That's not, for a check to clear. That's not, you're not being honest about, you just don't have the money. So maybe you should be putting down $1,800 if you don't have the money.
Well, why would I put $1,800?
Yeah, sounds
down?
Pretty stupid, doesn't it?
If I'm not exactly want to buy the vehicle, well,
you may want to buy the vehicle, but maybe it's not the vehicle you can afford. Because if you can't, in 6 weeks, come up with the balance, and every day you're calling them and saying, just give me a little more time, then maybe this is not up your alley. If you can't get the financing and you can't get the money, then it's just not for you. But this car was always going to be cash. It was never going to be financing, right?
No.
Am I correct?
Yes.
And so you were always just supposed to come up with the money. What was the problem?
So is this bad reputation that used car dealers have, is it well-deserved? What do you think?
No, not well-deserved, but at the same time, car dealerships, they always have a hard time proving their facts. So.
Well, fair enough, but is it a bum rap or is it well-deserved?
I think it's well-deserved, unfortunately.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. That's why you should go.
What do you think of lawyers?
I'm a lawyer, so I wouldn't trust him either.
You're the last one who should say that, going inside the courtrum.
They put the vehicle on the side, and they told me, we can give you more time. But my thing is, they never told me they were gonna sell the vehicle.
What good would that do? If they had told you, listen, if you don't come here in 24 hours, we're selling the vehicle, what would you have done?
In 24 hours?
Yeah.
You
come up with it?
I probably will.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe then you should have been doing what you're supposed to do by contract a month and a half earlier then. If you can come up with it, if they threaten you, then maybe you just should have come up with it because that was your legal obligation. You signed this contract. I did not. In the contract, it states no refunds. You understand that, right?
I understand that.
Okay. So what can I possibly do for you? I feel bad for you, but what could I possibly do for you? What did you guys tell him once he came in the car? The car was sold November 29th, correct? Because I've seen the paperwork from the new sale. So what did you guys tell him? Too bad, so sad?
No, I never said that. I want to keep him as a customer. I don't want to, my lot is an open lot. I don't want nobody to hurt me. So what it is
I thought it was just that you were being nice. But
no, because
it's not good business to make enemies.
It's not good business. Right. And he can go tell his friends and this, and I can lose customers like this.
Right.
The point I told them, listen, no matter what happened, if you don't, he called us after a month and a half and said, you can sell the van. I'm done.
Oh, he said that to you?
He called us. Yeah,
on top of that, he said that to you?
Said, well, if you do what you have to do. So we filled it up. Okay, we sell the van. So we sell the van.
Are you telling me that he tells you that first and then after that is when you sell the van?
Yes, of course.
So it wasn't that you called him and said, hey, I'm going to sell this van if.
No. We always called him, are you coming to pick it up? Are you coming to pick it up? He told us the story about the check that somebody gave him for work and bounced. I said, well, it's none of my business. You know, you signed the contract, pick up the van. How long I can hold it? I'm not charging you storage. I'm not charging you anything. So I told him, listen, if you ever want a different van, you got credit by me. It's fine by me. You know,
Yeah,
I'll give you credit.
Give him a credit.
Yeah, I'll give you
And what
credit.
did you say to that?
When I came that day, a week later, because I couldn't get the money.
A week later? You came 6 weeks later.
No. The first time I came a
Okay.
week later, and I told him, you know, if you give me the money, you can sell the van. And he said, it's not a problem. You can always keep the money, you know, for the next van. I say, no. If you sell the van, I want my money back.
Why are you telling them a week later that you
I didn't
to
say
sell
the
the
week
van?
later. I came personal, you know, I
To
didn't
tell them
call.
a week later, just sell the van?
I mean, if I can get the money, you know, can you give me the money and sell the van?
Okay.
And then that's
Mr. Aguilar, I don't know how the laws of contracts cease to exist in your planet, but they don't. They don't. You were bound by the same stuff the rest of us chumps are. If we sign a contract to buy a car, we have to buy a car. And if something happens and we can't buy a car, it is not a legal answer to say, well, times are tough. Right, times are tough. They're not just tough for you, though. They're tough for everybody. They're tough for him. They're tough for everybody.
I understand.
Okay, so, you know, maybe what you need to do is save your money and have it together before you go buy the van. Or maybe what you need to do is take what's behind door number 1 that Monty Hall was offering you when he said you could put it on another van or another car. And then you said to him, no. Okay, and then you walk into court. Now it's really up to him whether he feels like doing that or doesn't feel like doing that. It's not up to me. The only thing that's up to me is to figure out whether somehow the laws of contracts fail to exist because you're the guy who's affected. And the answer is they do not. You signed a contract. You're supposed to buy the car. It says in 48 hours. This nice man gave you 100 times that. You end up coming back in to get a refund when there's a big stamp that you signed that says no refunds. My work is done here. Verdict for the defendant.
So the plaintiff loses his case. What did you expect the courts to do when you had signed that contract with everything specified in it?
Well, I was hoping to, win the case because I put the deposit and they told me that they were gonna put the van on the side for me, you know, to pick it up.
That contract is binding. It's in black and white. Everything's right in there. The judge's hands are tied.
I understand.
Did you get in over your head and buy something that you couldn't afford?
No. I mean, I thought I could afford, you know, to buy that vehicle.
What if he comes up with a similar vehicle for you?
We'll be fine.
I'm gonna ask him. All right, you head right around the corner here. Let me see what he has to say about that. So step on in here. Contract's a contract. You knew that.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Anything you can do to help the guy out?
Sure, definitely. He can always come back and I will give him a refund.
Yeah.
Towards a different van.
Apply
Of
his.
course.
Well, can you find the same vehicle for the guy?
Maybe not.
Go looking.
No, maybe not 100% the same, but something similar because these are used vehicles, but something similar that he's going to be happy with. I'll be always.
If he's not happy, that's not good for you.
Yeah.
So you going to try?
Well, definitely.
Harvey?
You know, you need to work out the terms of a deposit before you seal the deal, whether it's refundable, whether you can apply it to another purchase. If you just assume that you're going to get the money back, I'm telling you, you are asking for problems.
The UPS store is making packing and shipping Easter gifts quicker than ever this year with UPS Air. How quick? Quicker than a walk around the park. Quicker than eating all the Easter candies. Quicker than finding a golden egg that you know is stuffed with cash. When you ship UPS Air at the UPS store, your items arrive on time or your money back. Guaranteed at no extra cost. Exclusively at the UPS Store U.S. retail locations. Send Easter joy on time at the UPS Store. Visit the upsstore.com/air guarantee for full details. Terms and conditions apply.